o'clock. Third in command, I'll call a meeting to order. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of March 8th.
Move.
Aye? No, you have to second it first.
No, second, all right.
Any discussion? Those in favor of accepting the minutes of March 8th, please say aye.
All right.
Opposed, any abstentions? Any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
There are some correspondence that you'll get it. One's from Alyssa Sherman, who's State Department of Environmental Conservation. She sent a letter through today. There is a quick letter from the listers that should be acknowledged. There is a request from Grace Cottage Hospital that I didn't get in here for Fair Days this August. And I'd like to make one correction on the agenda, which will be made in the minutes, but the next regular meeting is April 12th, not April 5th. Down at the bottom, I put April 5th for some reason. I keep thinking it's the first week and not the second, but it's April 12th instead of the 5th.
All right. Okay, anything else? If not, I'd entertain a motion to move to members of the public. We have a couple of gentlemen here who'd like to address us.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. That quick?
Yeah, the only thing we were here basically for was, we had our last cemetery commissioners meeting. We got wind through Charlie that you guys were discussing the redrawing of the lease for the hospital's deal over to the ball field. And we were gonna put in a request to raise the check that they send the cemetery commission from $500 to $700 through the select board, I guess is how it would have to work.
And also, we've got to have a public hearing on that because the length of time, you can't just, if it was 1 year, we could approve it, but we're gonna have to have a public hearing of the people.
Actually, you can't just put it in the newspaper. According to the attorney, you can post it and leave posting in the paper as long as you give fair notice, because it already has happened once as a cycle. And you have 45 days to petition or ask the select board. But one of the things we were looking for was any change in the terms from the cemetery.
Yep.
And it should be done by the attorney right now, but that's an easy change to make.
Yep.
So.
So that
And
was
after
basically
20
a
years,
request
that's-
from our end, and that's about it.
It's a 25-year lease. So we signed it in
So-
1991.
So it's gonna be 700 for 25 years?
It'd be 700, it's been 500 for 25 years. That goes to the cemetery.
It's annual, right?
It's annual, 500 annually, yeah.
I was thinking that we should raise it more than a couple $100s. I mean, if you owned a couple acre piece of property that was flat, you would get taxed a lot more than $500 on it.
Right. Well, I guess that's, I mean, naturally, the cemetery commission can use anything they can get, but, you know, that's the bottom line, I'm guessing, is you guys' decision.
Yeah.
That, there's some sort of money supposed to be set aside somewhere in case that Grace Cottage deceased.
Well, there is a sewer fund.
Yeah.
They paid into that, and we have generated the interest. I haven't touched that. Generated the interest on that, and I'm thinking,
No, that's what I was.
I'm gonna take a stab at about 48,000 right now. Is
Yeah,
the
let's
principal
say something. I know
plus
there's
interest.
supposed to be a fund and
Yeah.
so that it could be done away with the leaching area and put it back to original.
That's in a separate account. That's
Yeah.
set
Oh,
aside.
okay,
This is.
no, as long as it is, that's the only question I
And
have.
they pay into that every year, right?
No, that was something that they.
Oh, that was set?
I think they set 25,000 in originally as a base replacement fund or whatever, as like a down payment on that, and then 500 a year. The cemetery gets a check for 500 a year, we run it through, it goes into their account, some account, can't remember. But that 25 has built, almost doubled in interest over the 25 years, not earning anything right now, but it
Yeah.
had, through the 90s, it had considerable.
But they don't contribute to that.
They don't contribute to that anymore,
initial.
no. But that's in case you need to do something serious out there.
Well, just because if you had to do something serious out there, then
But they also-
50,000 ain't gonna do a whole lot.
They also pay for inspections. I don't know if there's a cost annually, but they change the weir plates to guide it in different directions annually. There are things that the elementary school shares in that they get the reports on, we get reports as well. But that 500 has been a regular source of funding for the cemetery commission for that time.
So I guess we'll leave that to you guys, when you do the, however you restructure the lease or whatever you do to it.
It'll be coming up early summer. I think it expires in November.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna try to get it. We're hoping to do it this spring, but it's not ready yet, but.
All right?
Good,
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
thank you.
Thank you, Bruce.
You guys, make it real quick. You just hang around and listen for a while.
Might as well hang around and listen. We're gonna go back up to highway report.
How you doing? First thing, I'd like to order another 200 to 300 yards of sand, just to make sure. We got probably one storm left in there, just to make sure we got enough to go through. Roll can salt, I believe, but I'd like to have a little bit more sand.
You don't have any, you got one storm, you think?
I probably got one storm.
What do you use in a storm?
How many truckloads?
Well,
How many
how
yards?
many yards?
Well, we go by truckloads. Say 9, 11 truckloads on a storm if we had to sand everything. But they're not always full truckloads because they come back with sand because they don't want to be empty going on the hills and stuff. So,
So 11 truckloads? Is that what you said?
Maybe.
And you figure on average 5 or 6 yards a truckload?
yeah, 6 loads, 6 yards.
They're running better than 7.
We don't use a lot of the time, we don't use a whole load though.
Yeah.
Coming off.
No, I realize that, but I say when a truck goes out, he's got better than 7 on.
Oh, he's got better than 7.
So you're running
Well,
like,
8-yard body, they're almost 9-yard bodies, so.
so you're running 500-600 yards of stone.
No.
No, it'd be like 50 or 60 yards.
60
Oh, all
yards.
right, I'm
60 yards,
under
so
that,
you had
yeah.
too many zeros in there. This isn't an auction.
Fellas, I was doing your.
Go down. But I'd like to get a couple, 300 yards of sand. I had a meeting the other day with AOT, Mr. Hunt. Did you know about it?
I didn't remember it, no.
Okay, gotcha.
But I got some paperwork on it. You dropped off a sheet to fill out.
And we also gotta put our financial, annual financial report, I got that to you. It was never submitted though.
We gotta fill out the numbers on it. That has to wait till after town meeting. So, yeah, that needs to be sent.
But that needs to be sent.
It's on the agenda, but it
Is
is
that ready to go in?
not quite, no.
What are we lacking?
Me filling it out, basically.
Okay.
It's on the agenda, but I don't have it.
And
On the
you-
certification.
The select board should have received a certificate of compliance for new work done, the standards for new work to be done. It's a certificate of compliance. You guys should have that. You didn't receive that?
Wow, when did we receive it? Back in
No.
January?
Probably beginning of the year. I don't get it because it goes right to the select board. It's, you guys have to sign it to agree.
They did,
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah.
yeah, it was with the, we are in compliance with the road standards and the,
Well, they didn't receive it.
huh?
They didn't receive it.
Yeah. I'll talk to Megan. Megan Brock?
We're number 10 on the structures for the grants, but that doesn't matter, it's going in anyways. We're number 14 on the paving. They said submit a paving grant if you want anyways for our paving we do. A lot of towns don't submit grants, so I will submit one.
You will, right?
Yeah. And we have I don't know if you guys received all the information on Act 64, the Clean Water Act. Remember we talked about doing an inventory, infrastructure inventory, and I didn't do it because the guy from, what the health department does it. Watershed Management said don't do it, and do it with one of our guys, and we give you a grant for it. Go through the Better Back Roads grant. And the matching funds will be in kind. The work we do will be what pays for it with these people. That's category A, and there's a category B also for this Better Back Roads grant for this water quality thing, which we should apply for, which would be in kind also for the work we do, which is a clay slide. You know where that clay slide is up on Townsend Acres there, below Allards. We did one project above there.
Yeah.
Well, we've been screwing with that. This winter's been terrible for that, the thawing and you know, freezing and thawing and freezing, so we gotta clean it up all the time. And that goes directly into the brook through that culvert that's below it. And that's what they're all, you guys really should read the interim compliance management for road erosion for inventory and capital budget. There's a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna have to start.
Do we have a copy of that somewhere?
Mr. Hunt sent me this one. Yeah. This
Well,
is just the newest thing.
I mean, that particular,
I'm sure you, I don't know.
I don't remember anything from Better Back Roads by way of grants, but.
Well, I went to a class on it. I got all the information on that, so I gotta fill it all out and send that in. And then we'll have our inventory budget done, which is what we need for the other 10% for the bridge, 42. And I'm talking to Megan and Chris, and as long as we have it in play, we're gonna do it and apply for the grant. We can get that other 10%, so which is good money. And other than that, and there's that would apply if we ever had problems. Other than that, the mud's really not that bad. We've been raking, scraping when we can, knocking off the ruts and stuff. I think the roads are in pretty good shape for the shape they're in.
Brings me to a question about that. We're going through your hours for the crew. And in the last 2 weeks, you got 35, a little better than 35 hours in checking roads.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of time.
It does, but every day it changes. Like the beavers now are screwing up with us up at Holt's Pond up there. They were fine. Then we got a call, said the water's almost to the road. We just checked the roads the other day, and now they're back over that.
Just seems to me that's a lot of time
It is, and
for when you could be utilizing it in a little better manner.
I agree with you, but every year we have to check the roads in the springtime. It changes almost daily with the warm weather. I don't know how else we're gonna find out what's wrong. Have one person check, and that one person's out of the whole loop, and then, I don't know.
Well, I just think maybe, every single road doesn't need to be checked every single day.
Well, we don't check every single road every day. Some of the times should be a little different.
Whatever.
it is.
I don't know how else, I've been doing it the same way for 20 years now. In the springtime,
Well, then it's been 20 years of paying a lot of money to have people drive around.
I agree, but I don't know how else to find out.
Yeah.
You ever, I don't know. Like one day we put out signs, the next morning Mitchell called up, says, State Forest Road breaking up on the hill here. I was just on that road that afternoon, and it just went to hell that quick. So I have no idea how else to do it, Rob.
Yeah, big thing about probably frost on all that.
Well,
That's a shaded area.
even the frost is, we got.
Yeah, but I say that's a shaded area, so it don't go out so quick it does down on the flats.
Like East Hill, we trucked a little bit of snow and gravel up East Hill today, because that was fine. Then I had Bob go check the beavers again today, because yesterday they plugged the culvert up. And it got rutted up yesterday afternoon, so we put down some stone and gravel mix, a light mix on it, so tighten it up. Other than that, everything's going okay. I'm gonna try Sarah Lynn from Wyndham Regional and Matt Mann are gonna help me with these new applications, because they're all new for this project.
Another issue that we have is, it seems that a lot of trash bags that are going into the compactor are not the Townshend trash bags. There's a lot of black ones. Someone found a tote that had got thrown in there, not even a bag, but a tote. And
You want me to talk, I'll talk to our attendant.
No, I wanna start locking the gate, that's what we got the gate for.
But I can tell you and show you, there's not, because I know the truck. Unless somebody goes in there and cycles the truck through, they can't get it in the truck without starting the truck up, and there's not gates. I will lock it if you want, but there's not rubbish bags.
Some of it's happening right when it's open.
I think it's
'Cause
mostly,
I watched a pickup go up through one day,
Well-
a couple of weeks ago. They had a bunch of purple bags in it, but they also had some black ones in it.
like I said, I'll talk to the attendant. I'm not there in the attendance, so that's why.
I stopped and talked with him one day about it, and he said he hadn't seen anything, and
Yeah, I mean, if I pick up stuff on the side of the road and stuff, but that's very.
Wow,
rare.
that's something different, but I mean, this is happening. that
this is
people-
reports that other people, residents in the town, that
Yeah.
bring their stuff there, see the other stuff in there, and then they come to us and say, well, what's going on with this? Why do we have to
All
buy
I
a
can
bag
do
and
is
somebody else
talk to the
doesn't?
attendant, because.
Yeah.
The truck needs to be started and cycled to put it in the truck, you know what I mean? It's all right there in the hopper. Like this morning I took the rubbish down, and there were 3 bags in it, they were all purple bags. So, really, I have not seen any trouble with people coming in and dumping in that truck.
Well, I mean, the people in town, and I've had a couple of people, you've had a couple of people,
But I'll have to
it's
speak to
been
the
seen,
attendant.
so.
I see them go by with the purple bags and the black ones right on top of them.
That's why we have an attendant.
That's why we have the purple ones, so they shouldn't be. Go ahead.
I wanna talk about Patriot Motors.
Huh?
I wanna talk about Patriot Motors, but I want you to
Yeah,
finish.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I did call Patriot Motors twice, 3 times. And I mean, I called them more than 3 times, I talked to 3 different people.
I lost my copy.
The letter or bill?
No, she called me, Evelyn called me today, and I said I'll get back to her tomorrow. I talked to her before the last meeting, and you said you'd call in there. There's one new, bill there for, I guess, T1, which isn't the T9 stuff. The T9 stuff was,
That's it, that's the international.
okay.
But I understand from you
On the
that
front.
Evelyn said that she hasn't talked to
She,
you.
she hadn't talked to Kurt about it, hadn't heard from any other bookkeepers about it, so she was wanting to know where the checks were from the last 2 weeks, and I said, well, we're putting the warrants on the board. Up before the board.
I even went to the salesman, and I went to the service manager, and I talked to a woman there too.
There's 4 different entries on that check to Patriot. I'll wait for it.
But there's a few things that we looked at, Patriot's bill.
I haven't seen the bills.
Well, one of them was Ed brought it over, let me find the right one. And the differential light was coming on when disengaged, and it goes down to describe it. What's a CPH? Do you know what that is?
It's an
What that
acronym,
means?
some computer.
But anyhow, they took it apart, found nothing wrong, and reassembled it. Cost us $246.72. There was also a plow light issue.
Yes, most of
And-
those things are their issues. Yes.
Well, they found a chafed wire or something, cost $150.69. This is the other one. There was a leak, so they hooked the truck up to a computer thing, cost $110 to hook it up. Then they looked the truck over and they found that there's a coolant hose that the clamp had come loose. They replaced the clamp. It cost us $1.19 for the clamp and $96 for labor to replace a hose clamp.
It didn't go over there for a coolant leak though. I don't know, I never had a coolant leak beforehand.
But the point is, it's over $400 there plus 5 hours of ed, so you're looking at $700. They found nothing wrong and they replaced a hose clamp.
That wasn't why I went over there. I didn't know we had a whole leak in it. The plow lights are their problem. They have screwed up the plow lights since day 1 with that truck. The differential lock, they installed the differential lock. That has been a problem since day 1. We have all the records at the shop. Who's been on the, nobody's here. Kathy knows about that. Ever since we got that truck and they put in
Yeah.
a differential lock, it has not worked properly.
Yeah,
And the plow lights have not worked properly. Oh, they found a chafe wire? I wonder why they found a chafe wire. It only caught on fire and they rewired the whole thing. And then it blows lights. We found nothing wrong with it.
but we continually get billed for that, that's,
And I called them up. I've called them up. I've talked to 3 different people over there.
Well, why don't we lay the law down and just be like, if we keep getting bills for warranty work, then we're not gonna do business with them. I mean, they got Catamount truck up the road,
I know.
there's all sorts of other places
But the whole
besides
thing was they were
Patriot.
supposed to take care of this. I've been told by Craig Allen that this will be taken care of. And obviously it's not being taken care of.
and we pay an inordinate amount of hours for Ed to drink that truck over there.
I agree with
I
you.
mean, it's ludicrous to pay $700 for a hose clamp.
Yeah, but then you spend 7 or 8 hours over there, that,
I don't know, I'm kind of, so I wanna hear from you why we should or shouldn't do the
should.
Patriot Motors.
I will call them again. We should not pay for it. And I will, I know.
And it is warranty too, am I correct?
That is
Warranty
not
work?
warranty work. It was stuff that they installed when the truck was brand new, and it has not worked since. And it even caused, I believe it caused a fire that burnt up the hood that cost $7,000 or $8,000.
But International didn't stand behind that. And
Freightliner.
the insurance and Freightliner rather, yeah, Freightliner didn't stand and Patriot didn't do it either.
No.
That was 18,000 insurance company or something like that. That was an expensive. That's an expensive repair. But it still had issues. I mean, the plow lights still don't
The
work.
plow lights still don't work.
And the differential lock
They've had
still
that
is-
differential in and out numerous amount of times.
So we shouldn't pay for the lights and we shouldn't pay for the
The
differential.
rear end
That
locked
is-
right after we got it. They took it apart, put the differential lock, and then the rear end leaked
Yep.
for quite a few
It's
different.
almost $300 to take it apart, say nothing's wrong, and put it back together.
This isn't the first time it's been over there for that. I know.
No, I know, I got a whole pile of them here.
I know.
It's like,
And it'll bring it home. By the time it gets home, light bulb blown again. It's a lot of fun plowing snow with blown
and,
lights.
yeah, I know, I understand that, but it's, I don't know how to address the issue, I guess I'm asking you. And it really sticks in my crowd, I have to pay Ed. I mean, he gets pretty good wages to sit over there all day long. So you pay $300 and you pay $100 for a hose clamp and you pay him $300 to sit there and watch it. It's like, something's not right. So I'll look forward to hearing how you resolve it or what you wanna do with
And
it,
if you have a guy who go,
with Patriot.
bring the truck over, you have another guy go follow him and bring him back, and the truck's on that afternoon, and you have 2 guys go over and pick it up. I'd rather have one guy, this is my philosophy, I'd rather have one guy over there, at least 2 guys here working. Than 2 guys on the road for 3.5 hours.
I'd rather see you guys fix the hose clamp yourself.
The hose clamp was not an issue, I don't know how that came about.
And if it becomes a real headache to deal with somebody, then chances are you just stop dealing with them.
The whole thing, they always say, oh yeah, we'll fix it. And you're supposed to fix it for nothing, and then they don't, then they send us a bill.
So that's when you stop dealing with them.
Yeah, I checked around this, I think there's other towns that use, Coleman's. Do you know that, to do their major truck work? Of course, they do most of it themselves, but.
It's not the major truck work. It's the stuff that they're supposed to fit. Well, the computer stuff, we can't do anything, and neither can
I
Coleman's.
understand.
Neither can Coleman's. It's the stuff that they're supposed to fix, that they have started this problem since it was new, that they're supposed to take care of. And there's a gap somewhere between them fixing it and the billing people.
So,
I'm dealing with it.
It's always been the same problem, the same time.
That's our direct number.
That's your direct number?
Yeah.
It's always been the same problem over and over again, and they say, oh, we'll take care of it.
but just them taking the valve apart and putting it back together and all that stuff, you gotta trace out the rest of the goddamn circuit. You can't just, cause you may have a short right now, and you go down the road a quarter of a mile and it won't short out, so that's why I say they have to check some of that.
I agree with you, but it all goes to an RPM, remote power module.
yeah,
Oh, yeah? It used to go through a switch and a fuse, that was it. I agree with you.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about on the buildings was the chains, tire chains.
Yeah,
Are those just ordered now, or because,
I ordered them a long time ago.
do we get now price or a long time ago price? Because I understand it's cheaper to order them
We
in
got
the
the
summer
price.
than it is.
We got the price we got with the small special, same price. I asked about it.
I think it's actually up.
It's up?
I think they're 540 a set right now. I thought they were 480 or something.
No, it's up.
This one, this one's perfect. I don't know if you saw that. No, it just came out. I got my warrant separately. Not with the other ones. Check the EV.
Where the pressure sensor go there?
I'll check on it, see if they're not.
This one we should pay,
What's that, Patriot?
Patriot,
For,
for $149.95. All the lights came on the dashboard, and truck wouldn't come up to RPM. It would limp, but it wouldn't. It was like in limp mode,
yeah,
and had to go over there. They plugged it in. It was a pressure sensor, fuel rail pressure sensor.
what's the lemon law applies to this stuff?
Yeah. There are no lemon laws for municipal heavy trucks. I tried it before.
I think we don't have to buy another new one. We have more problems with new trucks than, I can't believe the amount of problems that we have. Every time we buy a new truck, it goes back, then it gets time, they didn't do this right, and then
October 26th.
start buying second-hand
I
ones,
see that.
driving them right into the ground, and do it again.
I see New Hampshire has the big change, the state of New Hampshire's trying to put in that lemon law on trucks.
Everybody got it. Before trying Max, before trying Western Star.
Gentlemen, thank you. Good night. We'll let you know when that happens. It's gonna be a while.
You got this, right? You got a copy?
No, I don't.
Just one copy.
I can get your copy.
So on
No,
the
I don't need a
chain,
copy of it. This one's the one, they should pay that.
That one's okay. Yeah,
That's
so,
something totally separate.
yeah, I'll follow.
so they've increased your chains by $41 a set.
They did.
Yep. Yeah. No, they shouldn't. So check on that before we pay it.
$41 a set. 479 to 520.
$41 a set.
That was, the original order was October 16th or something, 10, 16, 10, 26, I can't remember. But last fall.
I'll send it back. All the 2 sets.
Yeah, the last thing from Patriots was Ed's gonna keep an eye on it and let us know if it acts up.
Yes. He said they reset it with the computer. Really easy to tell.
That matches. Anybody got anything else?
You, get a chance to measure that bridge?
No, it's not.
I did. The opening right now is only probably 17 feet
Which bridge?
up here to San Bill's. That one was supposed to be in the program. But there's been, the original, the deck went further than that, and sometime the concrete had been poured in front of it, because apparently the stone wall that was there was giving them trouble. But that didn't go deep enough, it undermined some of it. But the bridge deck is probably 24, at least 24 foot. But they don't, it's not, the opening's not. Now, because it's been added to it. But if you went 16 feet, you still only got 2 feet in the head walls, the way it's undermined, that east end of it would have been, started dropping down, but it does go back under the waves.
Cause that bridge had always supposedly been on this plan to replace. And then, if it's 20 feet or over, they'll replace it. 16 feet's a small structure. 16 feet or under. I will ask
But on,
our district writer about that.
Southeast corner, the chunk of that concrete that spalled and disappeared downstream. You know, it just all kind of crumbled and went down, so back where it went back in there, you can't see it right now. On the southeast corner. Northeast corner, I can see the concrete go back there from where the concrete wall is, it goes back in there, 3 or 4 feet. Then on the northwest corner, it goes back in off of the concrete there a couple feet.
Well, it looks like that bridge was filled in too. It looks like it was raised up elevation.
I don't think they raised it up much, but they,
You know, they didn't fill it in with gravel?
they could have, but you look at the concrete walls, they was high, I mean, to start with.
Yeah, but the guardrails are only like this
Yeah,
high.
but you look over the side, it's all one piece.
Well, that's why I wondered if they filled in the deck, on top of the deck.
Well, there's quite a lot of cover over the deck,
Right, because
but,
bring it up would be less of a dip to get out of the stand, or get out of the east hill.
as I say, it was up, you can see on the north side of it, you can see where the concrete went back underneath.
Anything else?
I wonder if they go by the original,
Huh?
will they go by the original or what it is right now?
You mean for length?
I don't know, but it's apparently been changed and sometime, over the years, they put concrete in front of
Well,
the
that's
stone
gonna make a
walls.
difference on qualification. It is, ain't
Yeah,
it?
'cause if it ain't 20 feet long,
So just tell them it's 20 feet.
yeah,
Tell them it's
no,
22.
tell me it's probably.
Because they told me, I always thought that thing was on the list.
That thing has been on the list and off the list, and yeah, we'll do something about it. And way back when Bill Noyes was on, we begged and pleaded
I know.
and everything, and the state and anything else.
Oh yeah, we got it on the
They
list.
didn't even, no, they didn't even wanna look at it.
Oh, it did then, but
Remember
then they put it on the list and,
when we pushed it, it was
That
gonna
list
be
was
too
much crap,
expensive.
'cause I had a bridge in Wardsboro, it was on the list, it was never on the list.
It was like too expensive, they did not wanna address it.
Everett Bill's built, not Everett, one of the bills, Burdette Bill's, he was real foreman, same thing, and
Yeah,
but I say the original deck was, you can see the concrete, it was over 24 feet,
all right,
even though the opening isn't. Cause there's been concrete put up in front of the stone walls.
anything else?
that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it.
Law enforcement,
Nothing.
town clerk's report. Anybody seen that? No? Questions or anything on it? Treasurer,
Well, it says here that you have $843,152.60. But I think the school, we just sent out the school checks, so they haven't come out of this yet.
which is how much?
Around 500,000 or more in it.
That's pretty, it's just on, yeah, it's right around 500.
Yeah, and then you've got, $29,940 in the checking account.
That's in the street.
So are you gonna, thinking about paying back the rest of that?
I think we should pay it back.
I think we should.
I think we should have paid it back a long time ago.
Yeah.
I mean, when it came through as a loan instead of a line of credit, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the one.
I would entertain a motion. How much is that we owe them now?
50,000 plus the interest.
That's the biggest boondoggle.
Well,
But
you didn't know what was gonna happen this
I
year.
know.
But it's gotta be paid back by the 30th
Yeah.
of June anyways.
I would entertain a motion to pay off the loan/line of credit due. I don't know the bill
So
number.
It's a tax anticipation.
Yeah.
Second.
Moved in second, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, any abstentions? So we do that, that's good. Anything else? Questions, anything from the treasurer, anybody?
Along those lines, I've been advocating, but I haven't spelled it out recently. But we owe so little on the remaining trucks for the next couple of years, is to maybe take the equipment fund, which is just sitting in the bank. Every year we raise money to pay off the Vermont Municipal Equipment Loan Fund. In the bank right now, in the equipment reserve account, there's about 29,000 all told. For the next 2 years, we owe approximately 34 or 35 all told. And we can save a little on the interest, but it'd be nice just to get that out of here so we don't keep raising taxes for something that's been sitting in the bank for the last 10 years that we don't use, so to speak. Now, I know we're gonna have to have a debate about reserve accounts, what they're there for, when we want to use them and all of that. But every year we continue to raise money for stuff that we don't spend money on while we have money in the bank. And it just, and I'm saying, the loans are down to a very affordable payout right now. We will get the title and all that. I mean, Kurt
So
wanted,
where does that leave us if we paid off, what, 35,000? Is that what?
it would cost us $7,000 to get rid of, it's an account at TD Bank with 29,000, it's the equipment reserve account. We're not saving that for anything.
That won't affect our dollar amount, right? In there.
Yeah, cause you gotta take 7 out of it.
Well, you'll have to come up with 7. You're
Yeah,
gonna-
yeah, but I
you're
mean,
gonna end the year-
but I know the 29 or whatever,
The
28,
29 is in the bank, you use that and you.
that's not what you did to this other.
Right, but you're raising, I think, 15 or something for next year's taxes to pay toward these loans over the next 3. I mean, you're gonna end up extra next year as well.
No, so, but we already budgeted to pay the loans off next
You already,
year.
you budgeted to pay what was due next year, and I think that's about 14 or 15,000. So that will be coming in after July 1st. If, however, you pay all the loans off before July 1st, then that 14 or 15 will offset anything that you have to kick in this year. You're gonna end this year with a pretty good surplus. You'll remember, back when David Diesendorf was on, we started budgeting $35,000 or $40,000 every year for the 544 to replace the cap. We've been doing that for 4 years, asking the taxpayer to kick in cash for that. And every year for 4 years, we haven't done it. You know, it's getting to a point where I don't know why we raise the money for some of these projects and then not do it. And then at the end of the year, the money's gone because we invested in chains or salt or something else that we sit on all summer.
Yeah, but that
10,
equipment,
12 top plow blades up there, we bought for the grader, you know.
that equipment money shouldn't be gone.
The equipment money isn't. The equipment money is sitting in a reserve account there. But the rest of the equipment budget, and it's targeted for various vehicles. You're over on a bunch of Freightliner, you're already over on. I mean, you're over on some of the vehicles, some you're way over. Because we don't put, when we blew the transmission in the grader, we started budgeting that heavily every year for maintenance. $25,000, $30,000, $20,000, $25,000 a year. They hardly spend $1,500 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you replace that, that's gonna be big bucks.
We're not putting the money aside.
That's right, it's coming back as surplus, right?
Unless it goes
well,
somewhere
so-
else in the
yeah.
meantime, like in the paving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to ask him what he's planning on paving this year too.
Well, it's gonna be the lower part of Grafton Road, I would think, in East Hill, which didn't get done in the projects last year. I would suspect, maybe Riverdale.
Anybody feel one way or the other about paying those trucks off?
You don't need to do it tonight.
No, I
I'll
would
get
like
you-
to,
I'll
I'll
get you
tell
the
you
numbers.
something.
I wanna consider it a little bit.
Yeah, it's 35, 36 is all capped out, but one of those goes out, I think it's,
If you could
I think
give
it's
us,
the new one we bought goes out for another 3 or 4 years. We only borrowed 40 on that, so
But if
it's
you-
very little.
It's
So,
550 and, The other international.
550's got 2 years, and the new International's got another 4 years or 3 years.
Yeah,
to go.
but the one that Bob drives.
Yeah, T3 now. The new
Sterling,
That
T3.
should be paid off by now.
No, T3 is the brand new one we just picked up last year.
how's the Sterling doing?
I don't know if it's.
Probably just sitting there, ain't it?
Yeah, I would imagine.
That's why I think we ought to stop buying new vehicles.
Anyway, I just wanted to throw that because I knew Joe was gonna bring up the tax anticipation note. That's a small one, and we are gonna end the year with fairly reasonable. We are gonna end the year with a surplus again. It'd be nice to at least get those
Well,
long-term
yeah,
debts.
I would, I guess I'd ask that at the next meeting you bring the specific amount where we're at, and then
Yep.
it's kind of, be able to do that. Okay? Anything else from the treasurer, anybody? Warrants,
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 32203 in the amount of $9,738.16. Can I get an aye?
that's the general, I was waiting for a second, the general fund.
So moved.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah,
Make a motion to
Any
pay check
opposed?
warrant number 32204. General fund in the amount of $11,508.
so moved.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
That one
Aye.
I'll point out isn't due, I believe that's the one, if you flip that over, that isn't due until, probably for another couple of weeks. I just wanted to make sure
It
because
says made payable April 18th.
yeah, which is, you got one more meeting, but it needs to be paid a little early. That's interest on the bond, we pay that
If-
twice a
but
year.
If it's due April 8th, we'll have a meeting before that.
18th, it's when it's due.
Oh,
You will have a
18th?
meeting before that, but I never know how many people are getting, I just wanted,
Yeah.
the check's already printed, but it cannot be cashed.
Yeah.
I haven't even given it to Joe. The check's printed and you guys just approved it, so he can mail it out on time. At least, that's a big one we can't be late on. So I threw that in.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report number 32205 out of the general fund for $389.75.
So moved.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and abstentions.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 32206 out of the highway in the amount of $1,145.45.
Second.
Discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, and abstentions.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 32207 out of the equipment in the amount of $4,473.57.
Fails for lack of a second.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 32208 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,823.40.
What?
That's the Freightliner stuff.
That change?
No,
No.
no change. Which one did he say we should pay?
I thought it was 9.
It's this $149, it's number 9.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one fails for lack of a second.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report number 32209 out of the equipment fund for $149.95.
Second.
Discussion? What was that?
That's the one that he said to pay.
Well, yeah, that's on,
Diagnostic.
that's where they hooked up the computer. And found nothing wrong.
They hooked up the computer and found nothing wrong.
But it costs you $100
It
to
costs
reach
you
up the
$110 to
And then
hook up the computer, plus $39 for another hookup fee.
It's a kind of a surcharge on the
It's
surcharge.
$150 to,
And Ed's gonna watch the truck. And it's under warranty.
has an inactive code for rail pressure, happened once. Ed stated the truck had sat for 4 days, and when it started this morning, sounded, I wish I'd have discussed this. Sound like it's starving for fuel. Keep an eye on it and let us know if it keeps acting up. $149.95.
Well, the money
The
was,
doctors.
the money was for the hookup, they put in new software, I mean, they upgraded, so
Okay.
the company came up with a new software to override the original. But it seems to me, if you're on warranty, you get
I was
that.
gonna say, that's not under
That's
warranty?
Well, that should be under warranty, if the company redesigns its software so the truck runs more efficiently, it seems to me you get that. If you're paying $7,000 for 7 years of warranty up front when you buy the
I
vehicle.
wouldn't have asked him about that, so. I mean.
But it seems expensive for a hookup fee. I don't know, Joe may have an idea, but I don't know what's involved in hooking a computer up to it. But most of my trucks,
It's $110.
you put the socket in there and you tweak the,
But it costs you $110.
I don't care where you go, it'll cost you $100 every time you get hooked up to a computer.
That's right.
but if you go into a dealer and it's under warranty and,
Well, then that's something different.
well, right. We never exercise our warranty. Anyway, Kurt said okay on that one, not on the other one, but hopefully we'll get these straightened out at some point.
So, that's the discussion, all those in favor? Those opposed?
Aye.
Fails.
3 in a row now.
Make a motion to pay check warrant report 32210 out of the general fund for $504.33.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Opposed?
make a motion to pay check warrant report 32211 out of the general fund and $396.60.
Aye. Second.
Motion's made, seconded, discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the warrants, members of the public, we've done, we're going to correspondence. March 2nd, the Grace Cottage Hospital Auxiliary would like to reserve the Townshend Common for annual fair day, August 6th. We're gonna be setting up booths the previous Saturday, July 29th, and plan to have everything off the common on the Sunday after the fair or Monday at the latest. If you have anything you wanna discuss, please contact me. Otherwise, we're gonna think that it's okay. Laura Smith.
The only thing is, we need is a certificate of insurance.
They usually give us that anyhow, right?
If we request it, they always have it, but, we can request it.
I would request a certificate of insurance.
Yep.
That's not the day that wedding was planned?
Are we gonna have a talent show?
Talent show the weekend before, I don't know. So, all those I would entertain a motion to grant the Grace Cottage Hospital to use the common for its annual fair as outlined in the request.
Second.
Is that a
Make the motion.
Move to approve.
Did I get a second?
Second.
Further discussion, all those in favor?
With a certificate of insurance.
With a certificate of insurance, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Let me quickly do this one from the Department of DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation Commission. This is from Alyssa Shuren, this came in today. I've had correspondence with the governor's office, this goes back to November, the Townshend Dan getting the governor's office involved. They did not send a representative down to a meeting with with our representative, state and federal. In any event, a woman up there that works for the governor's office referred our issues about sediment and water quality at Townshend Dam over to Alyssa Shuren, who's the director of the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation. And I've been going back and forth with them over the last couple of months looking for any kind of report. They did send a report through today, it's rather nice. Unfortunately, they're not in a position to do very much, but they are trying to work with our representatives and the Army Corps toward improving the water quality getting some dredging done, dealing with long-term sediment issues. So that arrived today.
Just as a matter of record, we got a letter from Jeff Potter, editor, operations director of the Commons, to outline what their policies are and where they're going with their newspaper, as we're exploring to use the Commons as our newspaper of record. I believe that at our organizational meeting, we did in fact decide to use Brattleboro Reformer, is that correct?
That is correct.
I suppose we could revisit that at a later time when we have a full board. That'd be my suggestion.
I'm glad to see the Commons is
I am too.
taking, they have had legal letters in there, or legal notices in there, but it's never been a big part of, didn't know if they were committed, but if they're committing, that gives one an alternative.
The next one is the outline of the minutes from the Townshend Public Library.
Well, actually, that's just an informational one there. That I just had, that's not really correspondence. I just threw that in. Their recent minutes indicate they still have continuing problems with the accounting office here. And we need to get onto that.
So that'll be addressed. From Christina Wright.
That's actually, that's later on under new business. I mean, you take it as correspondence too. You take that right now.
That's a letter to us, right?
That's, yep, that's a recreation committee request.
Recreation Committee, last year, Christina volunteered for the Recreation Committee. Not sure if she's on it this year or not, but she would like to do it again.
So
Motion made and seconded to appoint Christina
Actually,
Wright.
we did that, and I told
thought
her
we
that it
did.
was, yeah, I told her it was subject to her acceptance,
Yeah.
which she will accept. But the other part of that is that she's requesting use of this year's funds, of which there's 100 in there, there's another 100 for next year. But to use this year's funds for during Green Up Day.
I would assume, I don't think there's any, that's what she's requesting in the letter. I don't see any reason why she can't.
And it's just subject to board approval. It is a recreational, she's chair and member of the recreational committee. They want to put on a contract.
Motion to grant Christina Wright to use the $100 of this year that's been set aside for recreation to fund the community event agreement.
how much was set aside?
$100.
Yeah, but you got a ball field that you've got to maintain.
There's money, I think there's money separately for the ball field.
There is.
Because we put clay on the ball.
I was gonna say, 'cause it always used to be part of the recreational thing.
Yeah, we separated it out. Let's see if it shows in here. If it's in the big book, I think it is. Oh, what was that? First.
I wouldn't trust those numbers.
Well, these are last year's numbers, but if it's in here, then it's gotta be right. Let's pull that up.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with using.
Yeah, the ball field I'm sure is separate. We started budgeting separately on that, just to make sure that would get, because we haven't had people on the recreation committee for a while. And the ball field was using a different account for some reason.
See, that's a case like that, you're getting too goddamn many accounts.
Oh, really? You won't hear an argument from me.
I mean, you don't know which one is which, like, in recreation, there's Little League and stuff like that all in one.
Alright, I'm gonna put it. Budget status. Recreation. Okay, right now, for this year, 2014 ends June 30th, we have $100 in general recreation committee budget, we have $200 in the ball field budget we haven't spent. And I believe that those, I'd have to check on next year's budget, we haven't installed it on paper yet, but I'd have to check. But I think those numbers held for next year's one.
But that's only good to
This is good till June 30th, but then I think,
June 30th.
right, and then on July 1st, I think there's another 100 for recreation, another 200 for ball fields. But we did separate those out, back when the ball field needed a little extra work.
Yep.
Reclayed the pitcher's mound and home plate or something. So we got a motion on the table.
Second.
Further discussion, all those in favor of granting Christina Wright the use of the $100 of the fund for recreation for the community event, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, any abstentions? A letter from the Board of Listers. To the Select Board, we regret that personal business prevents us from attending tonight's meeting in person. However, with regard to the installation of a time clock in the town hall, we believe that requiring the listers to use it to track their hours will result in wasted time and mileage, since we often go to visit properties directly from our homes. Also, a check with the Vermont Tax Department District Advisor indicates that no other towns have their listers using a time clock. We have always been conscientious of keeping accurate records of our time and mileage. Towns and listers, Eugene Cook, Richard Lucia, and Mike Bill. Well, I mean, I don't know if there's any action that needs to be taken or that we want to take. I think that we need to go forward with the time clock thing. Case in point is we have a timesheet submitted by Mike Bills, submitting in his timesheet from 7:30 to 11:30 on town meeting day. And I don't think that he was doing lister work on town meeting day. I seem to remember him being upstairs. So a case in point, this, whether it's a wrong date or not, here's a case in point of why we're trying to standardize everything in town so that accurate records are kept for time submitted. And that's, with the time clock, we don't have to be concerned about writing in crayon. Often the time sheets are illegible, you can't read them. Maybe it'll do away with the snide comments and stuff like that happened, and not necessarily from the listers, but all of them. And our belief is, I think I'm speaking from the board from when we talked about adopting this policy, that everybody in town be on one routine, all hourly employees use a time clock. So.
If they had a big enough problem, they'd have been down here talking to us personally about it.
So, anyhow, that's that. Any other correspondence?
We get ratified that time clock.
We're gonna get to it soon.
Okay.
I think, yep. Knox box key assignment policy.
How's that going, Craig?
We still have the draft I did up. I think you have it. You should have a copy of the
I have
draft.
a copy of the draft.
Anyway, and it's just a generic draft, which basically says that the emergency management director will take responsibility for Knox box keys. There are 3 Knox boxes that have been installed, 2 at the high school, 1 at the elementary school. We have 1 back here for us that we haven't put up yet. And there's 2 at the high school, 1. And Grace Cottage Hospital has 1 they have not installed apparently yet. But there will come a point in time when somebody wants to lock their master keys in there. The key policy is that basically there's 1 key that opens all the boxes. Inside those boxes should be master keys to the building, so the fire department or whoever can enter in. It is the holder of the key who has to be beyond question. And it was originally set up, this draft policy was originally set up that the board would simply assign that to the emergency management director in lieu of not having one at this particular point, an appointed director. It would be the select board that is emergency management director. A recommendation might be to give it to the constable or to the fire chief, but maybe to the constable. And from there, it could be delegated to wherever it needs to go, but then somebody else would be responsible for it when we get to that point. But we will need a policy in order to distribute the keys. So think about that,
Yep.
how you want to control the keys.
Time clock policy ratification.
You do have a time policy that you took a look at during your workshop, and we do have copies of it if you need copies.
This is
but-
one where we made any
This is the one
corrections, right?
What's that?
This is the one that we,
Yep.
any corrections or anything are on this? one that you handed in? Since our workshop.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got here. Anybody needs one to refer to, I got a couple there for you. Thank you. You got one, Kip?
Yep, I got one. Got one there.
Like that.
Time clock policy,
Let me pass one down, signed.
$2.
$2 a piece. Oh, I'll give you two.
That's $4, Joe. You got two of them.
I don't need two.
$4. Here's another piece.
Well, I have made some copies. The thought was that they would go out with this week's paychecks on Friday, fold them up, put them in the checks, and make sure everything works. There are two things in here to be aware of, and this needs to be ratified if you're going to adopt it. But there are two things that need to be particularly announced. I just forgot the second.
We already
One is
did.
that you're changing the week. You're changing the days of the, it's no longer starting on Saturday morning, it's starting basically on Monday morning at midnight, and ending Sunday night at midnight. That,
You read that.
it's right, Joe.
No, it's not. It's not.
Every day has a 12 a.m. and that's midnight.
Yeah,
And
but
that
you
starts the
read-
day.
You read that
Okay.
policy, and if you punch out at 11:59, you only get paid till 11:45. You read that.
Oh, I do, I have read that.
I know what?
But we don't think anybody's gonna be working toward midnight. If they
It's
punch
on
out.
15-minute thing. It was the same way when I worked for Southfield.
No, they paid on the 8 minutes.
They didn't when I was there, they paid 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15. If you punched in the date of, you got the 15.
Well, anyway, the day starts at midnight, it ends at 59, and that's one of the things that was changed from before, was starting on Sundays, ending on Saturdays. When David was here, we changed it to Fridays and Saturdays, and so the pay week ended on Fridays, and the work week started on Saturday for some reason. Now, what this policy is basically doing is starting the day on Monday at midnight.
I did that on account of the town card.
Well, it's the way the payroll's set up, and you get paid 5 days after the weekends,
Right.
essentially. There was something else in here that was had impact on personnel policy.
The direct deposit,
Well, there's the direct deposit, there's that part of it too.
Only one.
yeah.
Yeah, one direct deposit. Understand things. Calculating hours, work order. No, that's all I can think of. I guess that's all I see.
And we did adopt this policy in a workshop, we're just ratifying the.
Right, but not by an official motion
That's
that
right.
got recorded or anything. I mean,
Right.
you did have a workshop.
So I would entertain a motion.
And so move it, we ratify the time card.
Adoption of the time clock policy.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, any abstentions? It's done. Rescue contract ratification. I'd entertain a motion to ratify the acceptance of the, and signing of the rescue contract for, I don't have it in front of me, so I don't have the dates.
I do have a copy. It will be July 1st,
July
2016
1st,
through
2016.
17.
Yep.
Well signed
Yep,
by the clerk.
that's right. So we need to
Base
ratify.
formula, it is a monthly invoice amount, subtotal assessment, population 10. It's for $34,249.60. 34,250 annually.
We need a
Broken in months.
motion to ratify the acceptance.
So move.
Second. Motion's made and seconded to ratify the signing acceptance of the rescue contract. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, any abstentions? I'd entertain a motion to ratify the appointment of Elaine Hill as assistant in the bookkeeping department.
So,
Sorry.
Motion made, seconded, discussion? All those in favor?
What
say-
sheet you get the
It's casual labor rate.
casual labor?
Casual labor rate,
And I've talked to her briefly, and you guys have as well, but hopefully we can get a job description which gives nice parameters.
Is there a weekly hourly amount she's working?
She can only work about 10 or 12 hours a week, I believe, as it is. She cannot work a full week, so it is very much a part-time job, and she'll try to come up with a schedule. She has other commitments as well,
It
a
might be-
predictable schedule.
but after once you get things straightened out, might not even be that many hours, you know?
Might not be, no, because Terry will be working
Yeah.
on the bigger side, the bigger picture stuff.
so, and hopefully we can get Craig out of that hole, out of the bookkeeping and money
Been
and.
quite a while.
Well, I don't know, if I get $2 a copy, that's not too bad for things I've already given you twice before.
He ain't paid you yet, so.
Yeah, I know, it's good.
Besides, the $2 was for me, you know.
5 minutes of 5 on the last one, that's good, yeah.
Further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Any opposed? Okay. Officer appointments.
You should have a new sheet of the ones, you did a lot, you did almost all
We
of them.
did
last time
almost
around.
all of them.
Yeah,
Get quite a lot of them.
yeah, they're coming.
I have no other suggestions, does
No.
anybody else?
While they're on that, I did talk to Alice Gale.
Yep.
She said no.
She said no.
Yeah.
Why would she say no?
Said, I just got off that board over there and
Didn't
said,
you
no,
talk
thank
to
you.
her nice?
Huh? Yes, I did. I said, gee, I thought that you here
So
to
nicely.
see me and stuff. She said, no, thank you.
All right, well, thank you for your.
No, but I just say, I told you I would do it. I did.
Thank you for your past service, Alice.
Well, actually, I think I gave you guys a printout of all the new ones.
Yep, you did.
And we didn't put in senior solutions yet, so I don't have to take her out.
No, that's why I did
Okay,
asked
yeah,
her because I see her Thursday and I asked her about it.
Yeah, this should be current after what you did last
Guess we
time.
put Joe in there, he's senior now.
I've been for years.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
I thought you just turned.
Well, yeah, I did.
Where is it? I lost my page.
You can have one.
Don't
Well, I
matter.
owe you a ton.
I had it here somewhere.
Two? Or pay up for it. They're pretty well filled, I think.
Well, Wyndham Regional, Emergency Management.
That's what we need.
Yeah, I mean, there's some protocol, I mean, fence viewers and ways to poll are fine, but they're not as much in demand. I mean, Wyndham Regional Commission is holding a meeting here this week, I believe, or next week, I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember. But it's a shame to have them show up and all the other towns come in and then towns is not represented, except I come down and open the door.
Yep. All right,
Well, looks like you got the job.
notices?
Oh, you've been there, done that. I don't know, some of those we can skip maybe, let's see. Notices, I don't have an update on those, but we were talking about that one for the lease agreement for Grace Cottage Hospital. The other is for Sovereign Solar lease agreement.
Yep.
And the other one's the transfer station, and I've gotta keep working on get the letters out on to abutters. And survey update, I have talked to one of the surveyors, and they're supposed to be getting back to me. It's not likely to get done before March 31st, but that's Army Corps of Engineers. The Emerald Culvert, turn temporary easement into a
Well,
permanent
Army
one.
Corps hasn't been very responsive to us either, so we'll get to them when we can.
Well, I'm glad they sent through a reminder.
Someday.
New business. Liquor licenses.
You have 3 liquor and 3 liquor and 1 tobacco. No, I want to mix them up. So let's put the tobacco on top. Just because it looks like the others, but it's easy to lose. There. We do it that way.
Yep. Yeah, I know it. This is tobacco license renewal application beginning May 1st, 2016 to April 30th, 2017 for Little Moo Moo. It's your pleasure.
Who?
Little Moo Moo.
I'm gonna
Only
go
a store.
Oh,
Ever heard of them?
Operates under Little Moo Moo.
well, I didn't know what that was.
You ever been there?
So what's your pleasure?
So,
Motion made and seconded to approve the tobacco license renewal for Little Moo Moo. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I-
Those opposed? Any abstentions? I think this is signed in the wrong place.
Well, there's a place for you guys to sign it. I think Anita has to sign it. They have to sign it. That's the original.
Signature of authorized agent incorporates signature of individual partners. There's no way here for plus ones.
Well, there's another page.
I'm looking
None on the tobacco.
there should be.
Should be.
Should be, you sign the last page.
Yeah. The rest of these have a second page.
You don't see if you can find a second page on that one?
No, but I mean.
No, there's no second page, so this is a tobacco license.
But generally, they got a liquor.
You gotta have to put your signatures.
Yep, we don't have one.
Well, yeah. This is all we got, this is all I got from you. Signature of individual apartment.
So, can't do it. We gotta have the second page, just like this one, it's the second page.
Oh, no, but that's a liquor license.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Tobacco, same thing.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Anyway, we only got one copy. Anyway, it has been approved, it just needs a signature.
Yep.
Okay.
Application for 2016 liquor license renewal application for Little Moo Moo,
So moved.
Second class liquor.
second
Second.
class. Moved and seconded, further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Liquor license renewal application for Warrants Smoke Shop and Country Store, second class license.
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And I will abstain, so it lacks a quorum vote, so you have to do it next week, next meeting, right? Am I correct?
Yeah.
I have to abstain, it's my business.
You probably ought to, your name's on the page.
Yeah, so we can't do that one.
That one, unless you get somebody to do it, 'cause it takes effect the 1st of April, right?
Well, I don't know what you can do.
Well, have them guys sign it.
I was gonna say, Irv can sign it, Rob can sign it, we just need a motion and a third signature that can be ratified afterwards. So if I can get Kathy or Kyle to sign it, this week we can get it in, we can ratify it next time as long as
Right.
Irv and Rob don't object. It doesn't pass tonight.
Is there-
It will pass, it'll pass on the 5th of April, but you'll be signing it, if you sign it tonight and we get a third signature, then technically the board has approved it.
Yeah.
It's our authority.
Entertain a motion for a first-class restaurant bar license to sell malt and vinous beverages by West Townshend Country Store. And it's followed by, or together with, application, this is launch a smoke shop, isn't it? For outside consumption permit.
Those two people.
Do I hear a motion?
So is that for two of them or for one?
No, it's one.
And this is for the outside?
Outside consumption permit.
I think there's just one place to sign.
Just
on
one
there.
place,
Yeah.
if you, because it's a first-class restaurant bar license,
Right.
granting outside, and the permit is for outside consumption.
Now, I think there's something on there where they are gonna put up a fence or something. I know that there was discussion. There was a check of the statutes and a clarification of what the board's authority. The board does have the authority to set restrictions. I believe some of those are being set in there, or at least they're outlining the area, because there was
Description
discussion.
of the delineated area is 1,200 square feet directly behind and to the left of the building in a defined area to include the brick oven. This area will be defined with physical barriers at all times. Not to include any part of the parking lot. Year-round use, hours of operation is 12 to 12.
Okay, there are no barriers there now. I just went by yesterday. I mean, in terms of fencing or anything. There was complaint about people carrying open containers out into the street, across the street, down to the church, through the parking lots, et cetera.
Right, I mean, that's
Right,
already
and
going on.
I know this board discussed it last year and asked, you know, what might be done about it. This is the what might be done about it here.
Yeah.
That you can put in some terms or discuss this with them, or
Did I say 12, what, 12 to 12?
12 noon to midnight.
Yeah, 12 noon to midnight.
They usually close by 10 o'clock.
Well, I was gonna say, on pizza night, they usually, I don't know when they start,
Yeah.
4:30, 5 o'clock or
They were
something like
closing
that.
up Friday night when they come down.
Yeah, that was before 10.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
9:30.
it's a matter of.
Shall we wait and see what the other,
I
Half
feel
of the
more
board?
comfortable with the other half of the board here, but that's.
I would too.
you guys.
I think it would be better to have the whole board.
So we got a motion to table this.
I'd make a motion to table the West River Community Project Company's application for an outside liquor license until we have a full board.
Motion made and seconded to table application for license renewal by West Hamlin Country Store. Further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, any abstentions? And that, because that's beginning May 1st. Yep. Okay. Recreation Committee request, we already did that. Social Services request, I don't see that. Do we have a request for that?
No, let's just pass on that one
Okay.
until next time.
Any other new business? Any other business?
Just the correction I made with the meeting schedule, regular meeting April 12th, not April 5th at the bottom of the page.
But also, I don't know, did you notify the reformer?
I'm sorry?
Did you notify the reformer, because they still get it on Monday night?
Putting in his money,
I will have to notify the reformer.
But you can notify them 15 times.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just looked again today, and I see it was,
You notice in today's front page in the Reformer that we had regional news of the big snowstorm, and it was all about Boston.
yeah.
That's our region.
Well, it's a big region.
That stuff copy to pick up off the wire. And
I know it.
you know, and just-
You know, that thing is pitiful.
It's a pamphlet, not a newspaper.
It's not.
Let's adjourn before we.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. The entertainment motion to,
No other business, I move we adjourn.
Second.
motion made seconded, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye, aye.
Opposed, aye.